What's up? What's up? Welcome in, y'all. What's up? What's up? Tonight we're talking all things financial aid and scholarships. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Tonight we're talking all things financial aid and scholarships. We're doing this with HBCU Hub. Here they go. We have a special guest joining us. Welcome in. Let us know where you're checking in from, what HBCU you represent, what organization you're a part of. Hey,
Hey.
hey, yes. So, go ahead and get started. This is actually our second week of our month-long collaboration with HBCU Hub with Yamara. And I'll let you go ahead and explain to everyone what HBCU Hub is for those that are new to you all and what this is all about.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks again for joining today. So HBCU Hub is an app where we connect students with all HBCUs over the world, and it's the world's first app to have an HBCU matchmaker, where you can will be asked about 3 to 5 questions about the HBCU, your HBCU preferences, and you'll be matched to about 3 to 5 HBCUs that might fit you perfectly, and you'll be able to find the perfect HBCU for you. Find different administrators on the app, different admissions crew and sports teams, coaches, all of that. It's such a cool app, and it's awesome for international students, um, for freshmen, for transfer students, and it's also an app where parents can get on and join and just kind of see what their students are doing as well.
Yes. And I saw someone put in the comments, they said they're a senior in high school and plan on going to Grambling State. Look, that's your neck of the woods.
Yay! See, I
Yes.
got my grandfam on today.
Yeah, so look, you're seeing high school. Definitely you want to tap in with the HBCU Hub app and definitely hit up Yamara. She's a student at Grambling State and she can talk to you all things Grambling State. So
Definitely.
go ahead and bring on our guest, Miss Jessica Brown. She is the president of College Girl Foundation. So she is here to talk to us today about financial aid and scholarships. Let's see. And definitely, if you all have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Any concerns, you can use the question box on the side, and we will definitely make sure that we get to them. And let us know where y'all checking in from. Let's see. I think, let's see. There we go.
Hello.
Hey, Jessica, how are you?
You.
Okay, now we can hear you. Okay, couldn't hear you first. Okay, wait.
No, we can't hear you. Mm-mm.
I feel like I hear when she puts them down. I hear something.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome in. Somebody said which. Oh wait, somebody said they're from Jersey. Okay, Serena. Okay, yeah, Serena's High School. Definitely DM. You can DM us. You can DM HBCU Hub Serena with all your questions. Um, Someone says which D9. You mean which? Oh, somebody said which. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Geraldine. Do you mean like which D9 is on here? But yeah, Jessica, can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay, it's going like in and out.
Yes, like in and out. Say something again.
All right, now I'll just hold the phone.
That's better.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I can't see the comments again for some reason. I'm not sure why it won't show me the comment section. It shows me like when people join, but it doesn't show me like if anyone comments. I'm not sure why it does that.
That's weird. I feel like it's been doing that. Somebody said that before, like they couldn't.
Hmm.
Feel like last week they couldn't see, but I don't know. I'll just make sure I kind of read. Jessica, can you see the comments?
Yeah, I can see them.
Okay.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Which sorority
Oh,
am I in? I'm a Delta.
oh yeah. Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So just go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know what HBCU you're repping. We see what organization, and just tell us a little bit about you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Brown. I am the founder of College Girl, the author of How to Pay for College When You Are Broke. Additionally, the author of College Girl's First College Tour, which is a children's book. Both are available on Amazon. And as College Girl, I go across the country teaching students and families on how to make the best informed decisions on paying for college. Additionally, I am the president of the College Girl Foundation, which is a nonprofit that's based in Washington, D.C., that exposes minority DC high school students to college careers, mentoring, and scholarship opportunities.
Yeah, look, hold that book up one more time.
So we have this one, How to Pay for College When You're Broke.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we have this one, College Girl's First College Tour, which is a children's book. It's awesome. And it has activities and a discussion guide in here. So for kids, for older kids, parents, there's something for everyone. So
that's so cool.
So we're going to get into this first book, How to Pay for College When You Broke, because I feel like that's one of the main topics. I see somebody asked in the chat here, what's the topic for today? Yes, today we're talking about all things financial aid and scholarships, and like the title of her book says, How to Pay for College When You Broke. So, so let's go ahead and get into it. Mary, you want to start off?
Yeah, so honestly, I have just like a couple of questions that I'm just gonna kind of go through and just, keep it rolling. So my first question would be like, just as you're getting ready to go to school and you're like trying to find these scholarships, like scholarship opportunities, how do you find like the real ones instead of like just the really big ones that is just kind of like, oh man, there's so many people like submitting these scholarships in, it's hard to find ones that are like maybe smaller and easier to access?
Well, the ones that are more easier to access would be, of course, your institutional scholarships, right? Because you're going to financial aid, you're able to talk directly with the financial aid representatives who would know what funding is available on campus. So, of course, you now just would only be in the pool with all of your colleagues and peers. However, the other smaller scholarships, of course, come within your community, right? If you belong to a church home, many churches provide scholarships for students. Some smaller scholarships, which is not essentially a scholarship. It's a scholarship because it's free money, but you don't have to actually write an essay. As many jobs, for HR, they give you $500 a class as long as you at least maintained a C grade point average. So you have to really just search within your community. Of course, one of the major apps that I like to use and recommend would be called Scholly. But then again, you are competing with everyone who signed up for, that scholarship app as well. But however, just because everybody is applying for it doesn't mean everybody is finishing the application in its entirety. Doesn't mean that you may not be awarded, I mean, you are one of a kind, and it's based on your responses for the most part. So every year, over $100 million in scholarship money goes unclaimed. So even if you feel like it's not obtainable for some of these scholarships, you still need to try, because you never know.
Right. So how many scholarships do you suggest like someone who's entering school should apply for, just on like a, like an average basis, just to be able to pay for school or really get like some financial assistance when applying and getting into school?
I think that, you need to do as many scholarships as possible, right? Student loan debt is more than credit card debt in America at $1.7 trillion, and this number is continuing to grow. So I think that at least 5 to 10 scholarships a week, even if you're not in college, right? Preparing for college. And then once you get to college, you still need to be doing the same thing, right? Because so many people feel like, oh, I'm in college now, I don't have to do all that. Yes, you do, because what happens is now you end up making poor borrowing decisions and borrowing more of what you don't need, getting private loans in order to complete your education. So scholarships are something that should be done continuously for every grade level, as long as you plan on going to college and matriculating through college.
Right. That's super cool. Like that's very interesting. I'm actually taking notes like kind of as you go too, just because I've been trying to grow with scholarships and be able to grow my knowledge on it, as well as like trying to apply for scholarships, because I'm a senior. But like you said, it's still important to continue to apply for scholarships throughout your whole college experience.
Mhm.
And someone asked a question here, Shacobia, she said, can you repeat the site that you just resourced regarding scholarships?
I'm putting the app right here in the
Scully,
at
that's,
Scully. Yep.
let me pin it to the bottom here. Okay, yeah, I just pinned it to the bottom, yeah. And so if you all are just joining us, welcome in. Tonight we're talking all things financial aid and scholarships with HBCU Hub and Jessica Brown from College Girl Foundation. And, you said something important. You said it's important to keep applying for those scholarships. And I'll admit, like when I was in college, I started school in 2007. And my mom was always on me, like, you need to apply for scholarships, you need to join some kind of club or something to pay for college. And honestly, I didn't really take it as serious as I should have, because it's like, as a freshman, it's like, I got 4 years. It took me 5 years to get out. So I was like, I got, this time left. But the next thing you know, you graduate, they give you those 6 months. And next thing you know, you got Sally Mae calling you, and Nabby, it is, I guess is what they call it now. And it's like, dang, like, I wish I had a fully taken advantage of those scholarship opportunities. So definitely for all of our incoming freshmen, and anyone, if you're still in school, definitely take that, definitely make sure you take that advice and always apply for those scholarships. But yeah, go
Right,
ahead.
because scholarships are free money, right? I mean, I don't
Right.
like to pay nobody back, so and then if you really think about it, the more money your parents save, the more money they give you on the back end. So it's definitely that's definitely a good incentive.
So just being, at school and stuff, I hear a lot of talk about scholarships and just different essays and stuff, and like questions that people do have. So this is like a question that I often hear a lot, or like just a subject I often hear a lot is, when you're applying for these scholarships, you're in a pool of all these different people and you're writing these essays and you want to like stand out. So what would be like good topics that you would recommend that aren't just kind of like the basic, oh, this is how I grew up, this is where I come from type of standpoint? What's some other topics that you would suggest, or just some brainstorming ideas that you could give to students who are trying to write some different essays for scholarships?
I mean, that's kind of a difficult question because most scholarships, most scholarships actually ask you what they want you to write about. They probably want they want to ask you, how did you grow up, or what were the most influential factors in your life. So that's kind of a challenging question. But what I would say from the is definitely making sure that that you just put your best foot forward. Whatever they ask you, tell the story in its entirety. Don't be too long, but tell it from a point of passion, especially if it's something that if it is telling your life story, right? You want the most compelling story as possible in hopes that you get this the scholarship. So I would more so focus on the question, because people don't read, they just answer it how they want to answer it. Thoroughly read the question and take your time and make sure it's thoroughly thought out.
Right, definitely.
Yeah. And welcome, Aaron is here.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be here. Hello everyone, I'm Aaron Blue. Nice to see you again. Hey, hello, I'm Aaron. I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you. And yeah, I'm just throw me in the water. Just throw me in
Yeah,
there.
Aaron is usually our host for this day. He's running a little bit behind, so we just but it's okay, yeah. Let me say, for those of y'all who are just joining us, welcome in. Tonight we're talking all things scholarships and financial aid. We have HBCU, the American HBCU Hub. We have Jessica Brown from College Girl Foundation, and she is the author of the book How to Pay for College When You're Broke, which, I mean, that's kind of, that's something we all want to know. So
Okay. All right.
yes. And I see we got a few comments. Someone said applying for scholarships is important. It's definitely work, but it's better to put in that 1 or 2 hours a week now than to be saddled with debt later that will follow you forever. Yes. Student loan is the only debt that cannot be released in bankruptcy. Yes, for sure. No, that's important. And I want to ask you, Jessica, how long ago did you write the book?
I wrote the book in 2016. Right after I was working at different institutions in financial aid. I wrote it in 2016. Of course, it's been updated like 3 or 4 times since then to make sure the information is relevant. But one thing about financial aid, it's going to be the same message, throughout your time. At the end of the day, college is continuously getting more and more expensive. So you need to find ways to pay for college, starting early, speaking with your family, right? Going to college is not just a one person thing. You have to speak with your mom, speak with your dad. How much money have you saved? Now, granted, they might say, look, sis, we didn't save $1. Okay, well, then when we need to collectively find this money so I can make my collegiate dreams come true. And then also, like, don't just go to school because this is just your dream school that you want to go to, right? If they're not giving you any money, then why would you turn down money at another institution in hopes that you're going to get something on the back end from this place? And with that being said, also you have so many students who are getting these institutional scholarships for 20, 30, 40,000 or covering all room and board and tuition. And they forget that these scholarships come with conditions, right? Like you can't drop under 15 credits. You can't get under a 3.0 if you want to continuously renew this money. Or sometimes it's only a one-off scholarship, right? Just for freshman year. And then you sophomore, junior, senior year, you're thinking you're getting this money and you're not, because some of that is based on the institution's funding and what they have available. So it's important that when choosing a college, you just don't choose a college from the beginning, like, oh, right now it's feasible because I have this. What happens if you don't have this? What if this is not renewable? $30,000 is a lot of money to find, right? So it's just important that you collectively sit with your family and family financial plan for this time in your life.
And then two, I want to touch on like the FAFSA. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. The FAFSA, because I know even on some of our posts, like I've seen like some students, they'll say, oh, well, what's the FAFSA? Like they're not even knowledgeable about what it is or how to apply for it. So do you want to kind of touch on that a little bit and the importance of making sure that that's like, I guess, one of the first things that you do when trying to get that aid for college?
Well, the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and of course, it's the first step in financially securing your college education. This application must be done every year. Of course, if you are a dependent student, which means that you do not have any kids, you were never at risk of homelessness, you were never a ward of the court, so AKA somebody claims you on their taxes, you are a dependent student. So with that, in order to complete the FAFSA, you and your parent would need a login and collectively complete that application together. If you do answer yes to any of those questions, like you have children, you're married, you were a ward of the court, so on and so forth, it's about 10 questions. If you say yes to one of them, then the United States government determines you independent. Now, you have some students who feel like, oh, I'm independent because I have a job. Sorry. You're not independent just because you have a job. If you're under the age of 24 and your parents still provide for you. So it is so important that every October 1st that this application becomes available, that you complete it as soon as possible, as financial aid is first come, first serve. So the faster you get this application in, the faster you will be able to begin to see how much funding you're going to get from the institution, how much money you're going to get from the federal government, may potentially in grants, and determine your shortfall so that you can figure out how to make the best informed decisions on securing your education.
Just trying to see.
Yeah, that is true.
Yes, there
I
are
do like that.
apprenticeships and trades that pay more than college graduates. However, today we're talking about financial aid, so we're talking about college.
Yes, we are. And for those, if we have any incoming freshmen or any students in general, anyone, if you have questions about financial aid or scholarships, definitely feel free to drop them in the chat. We have Jessica for about 30 minutes. So definitely feel free to, this is your time. Any questions that you all have. I want to ask too, or Aaron or Yamara, you all want to add anything?
Somebody, as far as my question, no, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think you kind of hit my question. One of my questions was, what, in your opinion, what age or grade do you think you should make that game plan to start looking for scholarships, to start adding on all that on your belt? Like what age or what grade?
I mean, by freshman year of high school, you should start kind of researching schools where you want to go, starting to figure out what you want to do. Because, some of these schools, you have to have some type of certain GPA and SAT score and scholastic achievements in order to get in. And by the time you figure out what an institution's requirements are, that senior year and you're applying to college, it may be too late to improve that SAT or take this type of program to kind of get you easier admission or some form of a scholarship. So I always advise, at least by, freshman high school, you start to kind of begin on that college search. By sophomore year, you should be going on college tours. Even if you don't have the funds to go, like there are virtual tours that you could take at home and you can look at their orientations. They have all these colleges are, have so much technology now. You can do these 3D tours. They have all these different seminars and workshops that are available for viewing, and students should begin to look at those things. So this way, by sophomore to junior year, it's like, okay, I kind of know where I want to go. These are the scholarships that are maybe available for me because you've done that research. You're continuously, creating, finding scholarships and saving them for when it's time for you to apply for them.
Okay. So really more so like the outreach program in high schools should kind of step back and actually target freshmen and sophomores than target, juniors and seniors way more and just leave the freshmen alone.
Right. Because I mean, juniors and seniors, of course, it's like more urgent, like they need that help. But I mean, if you're talking about if you could do it all over again, I would definitely go from the earlier the better, right? Because by junior year, by senior year, especially by senior year, like some scholarships will probably do the summer of junior year going into senior year. So by the time you think you're looking for scholarships, those Amazon, those Coca-Colas, those, Bill and Melinda Gates, those type of big type of scholarships, their deadlines have already passed by the time you found out. So at least by sophomore, junior year, and you're building your list of schools and scholarships and interests and, stuff like that, you'll be more prepared for when it's time to apply, because senior year flies by, especially the first 3 or 4 months. You only complete the FAFSA with your parent. The guidance counselor can essentially help you with the FAFSA because you need your parents' tax information. So that's why you and your parent have to have a login, and you guys both have to sign the FAFSA at the end, electronically sign it. So unfortunately, a guidance counselor wouldn't be able to assist.
I had a question that someone had asked me before I got on the live that they wouldn't be able to make it. I'm not sure if you could answer this question or if it's more of like a university question, but they were wanting to know like some scholarships that you might win. They'll say like, oh, well, the money will be specifically for your books, and so we'll send the money directly to your university. So would they go through the financial aid office to receive that, or do you know anything about that?
Their accounting department gets the checks. And as long as your student ID is located on it, it just literally deducts from your student account bill.
Okay, cool. That's really good. I know a lot of students who have who've like received scholarships and it'll go directly to their school, and they're like nervous because they're like, I don't want to lose it, or if I have to accept it, and they just don't know if they'll just see it on their fee sheet and things like that. So they were really nervous about that. So I thought that would be a really good question to go ahead and ask.
Well, I think, and it's also too important that whatever organization is giving you the scholarship, that you're following up with them and staying on top of them, right? To be like, hey, did you guys send out my check? Especially because some institutions, if you owe a balance, they won't allow you to go to class on the first day, or or like after the second week, they'll automatically withdraw you from your class. So it's important that you definitely want to make sure you know where this check is in process. So this way you can tell the Office of Financial Aid that, hey, I don't need to be dropped from my classes. This is the award letter I received from this company who's giving me the funding.
And too, I want to ask, and I guess this really just kind of goes back into the whole thing of applying for scholarships, because I mean, even for us, like we've received a few people, they'll send us like a GoFundMe link. They'll say, okay, I'm trying to start school in the fall, but can you shout out my GoFundMe link? And so we'll ask them, well, have you applied for, XYZ scholarship? So what advice do you have for those students who they're like, I've been applying, I haven't gotten nothing, I still can't go to school? How can they get those last few little bit of funds to, to start the school year?
I mean, follow up with the financial aid office. I mean, look at all these schools that are paying off balances with the CARES Act, with all this extra money that's, floating around. Many of these schools have donors, right? And donors give money to the school, for different types of scholarships. So if you're not building that relationship with the financial aid office, if you're only going to financial aid in the beginning of the school year and when it's time for your refund, then you're not going to find out about any of these opportunities unless they're automatically awarded. It's not what you know sometimes, it's who you know. So if you keep going to financial aid and asking the right questions and building those relationships, I've been in situations where this student, they need $10,000. They come once a week to the financial aid office. There's nothing, but I wrote their name down and their ID and I put on my computer. Then one day, $10,000 comes across my desk. I give them a call on the phone. This is a real story, and say, hey, we have the $10,000 for you. Mom calls, she's crying. She's like, thanks, that kept me in school. So, I mean, it's also building those relationships as well with those professionals or your dean or your professor, who know about these different opportunities that, you guys are staying on top of them and getting to get that money. And that's just not just about financial aid, right? But that's a life skill. Like in life, in order to get to where we all are now, we've had to follow up with people, to have mentorship, to have jobs, to have different opportunities. So if you're not starting early now with following up with people, then you're going to be short in the end.
And this goes to what you all discussed last week about networking. Like that's literally all a part of networking. Like getting to know the professors, the financial aid office, like just getting to know people. Because like you say, if you build those relationships and some money come across their desk, then you want to be the first person on that list that they hitting up like, hey, I got some money for you. So
that's actually the biggest thing that I really love that you emphasized was actually communicating. Because if you're not like communicating, they don't know what your face looks like, then it's like, what can they do for at the end of the semester, or when you really need it. So I definitely love how you emphasize that.
Yeah, because financial aid, what people don't realize is recyclable, right? If EMR loses her scholarship, it has to go somewhere, right, before the end of the year. So, if that other student fits the characteristics of the scholarship and the requirements, then now that other student gets those funds. Sometimes they're automatically awarded. Sometimes they can be manually, awarded, or just asking the right questions. Like I've had students when I was working at different institutions, like they went on the website, they knew what type of freshman scholarships were offered. They had the grades. Look, Miss Brown, I have this and this GPA. I don't know why I didn't get it. Now, sometimes funding does run out, right? Just because you see a scholarship, that doesn't mean that every freshman who fits this profile can get $30,000. Of course, there becomes a cap, right? But there might be funding available because EMR didn't accept her scholarship. So now that's extra money in the pool. So if you've also done your research, right, and you know what the schools are offering, you have the opportunity to also ask that too. Hey, I think I qualify for this. Nothing, it doesn't beat a failure but to try and ask. But if you're not doing your research and you're only going to financial aid when you're dropping, then you can't expect anybody to really help and assist during that time, because there's nothing that you can do.
I see someone, I am Amberly, said, do you mind talking about scholarships for college students taking a break for a semester?
You would just, I guess, continue to apply to scholarships until you get back into school. Unless that scholarship has to be used during that time frame, because if they're sending the check to the institution and you're not enrolled, or if you don't have proof of enrollment, then you might not be able to get the funding. So I think it depends on what are the requirements of the scholarship. Can you apply for something now that's not going to be until spring?
Okay, that makes sense actually. Because usually most scholarships is for that semester or the next semester.
Right. So it would definitely depend.
Yeah. And really, honestly, like you said earlier, just always, to anyone, like just keep applying to scholarships. Like just don't stop.
Just don't stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't
There's
stop.
there's no specific time that is a good time. The problem is though, if you're not continuously doing it, then you might miss that pocket of where everybody slipped up because everybody got
Right.
comfortable. So now your audience is low. Like so once
Mhm.
September comes, though, most of these scholarships, everybody's partying thinking about homecoming. But if you're still on the
Yeah.
scholarship grind, right?
Yeah.
Like I say, like so it's a mind boggling to me that like students can tell me where to find the best wigs from, where to find PS4s, the J's that came out. They can tell me from DC to Jersey what Foot Locker got my size, right? But you
Mhm.
can't tell me where to find a scholarship.
Yeah.
And you're using all the same resource tactics. You're going to Google, like Foot Lockers near me that got this shoe, or to find out all this information. That's the same with finding money for college. So students need to stop scrolling and start doing. If you make enough time for Instagram and TikTok and learning these dances, then you should have enough money in financial aid that you should never be paying for college.
Right.
Now,
Mhm.
now, when you've done that, then you can hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got something to celebrate. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
until then, you need to be
Searching on, yeah.
Yeah. Non-stop. Non-stop.
nonstop,
Yeah.
nonstop. Then you treat the club or a Friday night like a party because you've done your job.
Right.
You're being a student is a full-time job. It's like being an entrepreneur. You gotta learn how to get up, go to class, schedule your own schedule. You know what I mean? Still try to
Hey,
work.
you saying it. You preaching.
Still try to go to the parties and be popping. You got to be everywhere, right? And still be devoted to different community organizations that you are a part of. So, in knowing that, you need to balance your time and know that the main reason why you're here is to get an education. In order to get an education, you have to pay for it. So, how do you make the best informed decisions on paying for it so you can do all of those things and enjoy all of life's luxuries and graduate with some form of financial freedom?
You
Okay.
said it. Get your
Right.
priorities straight, students. Just get your
Right.
priorities straight.
Because you don't want to be like grown and still at home. Like I remember I graduated from Howard and some of my friends moved back home. Like I did not go to Howard to move home. Okay.
Right. That's how I
That's debt.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, seriously.
But they made poor financial decisions. Their parents have these Parent Plus loans now. They have these different private loans on top of the federal government loans. They can't afford to live in an apartment. I wasn't trying to be grown and still at home. So with that being said, I made sure that I found scholarships, that I did internships that came with scholarships. I interned with Fox News. They was $5,000. I wrote an essay. I couldn't believe I got it, right? They gave me $2,500 up front and then $2,500 after the fall internship ended, and it all went straight to my student account. So that last $5,000, my parents didn't have to pay for, which was great because at the time my mom had just got laid off, and that's another thing to take into consideration. Your parents' financial situation can change at any
Hmm.
time.
You
Just
never
because
know.
y'all come from, just because you got a little Louis bag, and a nice little car, that doesn't necessarily mean that, your parents can be financially struggling, going through some things that you don't personally know about, or making sacrifices and they're forgetting about their retirement because they're trying to put you through school. So it's in your best interest to find a school that's financially feasible, even without scholarship, something that you can
Right.
afford.
We got just a few more questions. I know, Jessica, you got to get ready to run, but I'm Amberly. She had another question. She said, when applying for scholarships, when is the best time frame to turn it in? I heard 2 to 3 weeks before the deadline ends.
As soon as possible. If you find
Yeah, I
it that
think as
day,
soon
you
as
better finish
possible.
it that day or the next day.
I think when you get done, just turn it in.
Just get
Right.
it.
What we sitting on it for?
What you sitting on it for? Because then you're going to find about 5 other opportunities in between that time, and now they done all piled up like homework.
Yeah.
Right.
Best advice for just don't procrastinate. Get it in. Just keep on it.
Stay on
Just
priorities.
get it in your brain. Like, scholarship search is a nonstop thing. Until I graduate, you need to always be looking for money.
Unless you got a full ride.
Well, yeah, that too.
And
Yeah.
even still, I want a little more money.
Right.
That was actually my next question though. Is it too much scholarship? Like, say for instance, you have. Let me ask this. So, say you have the military paying for your school, and you have scholarship as well. Does that work, or do they just kick out that scholarship?
So what happens is, right, what happens what with institutions? Let's say an institution is giving you 20,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got military, you got all these external resources. What's going to happen is that the institution's going to lower their scholarship now
Okay. Makes
because
sense.
they don't want to give you a refund with their money. Now
Mm-hmm.
you can get your refund with your Pell Grant, right? Because they can't deny you the Pell Grant,
Oh
or if you
yeah,
do borrow
that
the
is.
student loans, they can't deny you that, right? As long as you
Mm-hmm.
accept it and you want to pay out. But if an institution's giving you 20,000, and now you got all this money coming from everywhere else, the institution money may go off the table
Okay.
because it's covered now,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because now that's given to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But in your mind, you like, man, I would have got a refund.
10, 15 bands.
Right, but the university, you know, they're not really they're gonna lower your package if there's anything that they gave to you now. If they didn't give you nothing, you got all these other external resources, and essentially, yeah, you have to be paid a check.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yes.
Okay.
And Emily, we are going to say this live, so y'all can go back and rewatch, and yeah, we'll chop clips of all of that. So I do want to ask you, Jessica, before you get ready to go, what are some things? I know you got a lot of stuff going on with the College Girl Foundation. What are some things that you want us to know? I know you got your tour coming up and everything. So what are some stuff you want the audience to know, and how can they get involved with what you got going on?
Well, of course, the audience, my book, How to Pay for College When You're Broke, and College Girls First College Tour. Both these books are available on Amazon. So, of course, if you could support, that would be great. Currently, right now, last 2 weeks ago, I gave away over $7,000 to my graduating seniors, a part of my foundation. And they're all college bound. So I'm really, really proud of them. And this year, we're going to kick back up with our in-person college tours, God willing, because we've been shut down for the past year in terms of college tours and some of our events. So we're excited. Right now, I'm on a rampage to fundraise at least 50 to 100K to make this possible, and got until like the middle of September. So pray for me and my edges during this time. But no, the college tour is such an exciting time. Kids from DC Public Schools, if they are chosen to be one of my mentees, a part of the program, we go on a 4-day city tour. We go to at least 6 institutions. We do a culture event, a fun activity event like bowling or professional basketball game. And of course, the biggest thing is we go to HBCU homecoming. I take the kids. I mean, who doesn't want to go with College Girl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
To a homecoming, and we wrap the bus with our faces on it and our sponsors, and everywhere we pull up, they know who we are. So it's a pretty lit situation, and all the students that we bring, they don't pay for the trip because all of our sponsors and donors help me pay for it. So that's exciting. That's what we're preparing for now, welcoming in a new class of kids. As last year we didn't accept any students because of coronavirus, and we were trying to get down with the virtual programming side of the world. So yeah, we're excited. We're opening up the foundation, and every day is a new grind, new day. So y'all just pray for us and follow us, and we need donations. So if you would like to contribute to my nonprofit, that Instagram I can put down here. It's at College Girl Foundation, and of course. It's a 501c3. Every little bit of funding helps for us to create a world of opportunities for the next future leaders of tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay,
Hey, that's
cool.
dope. Hey, that's dope. I love that.
Before we close out, I definitely want to go ahead and give the weekly challenge. Since we are focusing on scholarships, I definitely want to give a scholarship weekly challenge. So I want to give our freshmen and transfer students the weekly challenge to apply to at least 5 scholarships this week. Screenshot it, take a picture of it, post it on your Instagram story, and tag both Historically Black Sense and HBCU Hub, and you will be reshared onto our story. So good luck this week. I hope everyone can find some good scholarships and, win some scholarships. Apply to more. 5 is just the starting limit, but apply to as many as you want to, and definitely post those, share them. It's so cool to see everyone applying scholarships and winning, and going to college. And we're, like she said, coronavirus kind of shut everything down a year ago, so we're trying to get back to this new normal and trying to figure out how life is going to be after COVID, because well, it's still kind of here, but trying to figure out, is things going to be open, is going to be mildly closed or all the way closed. So just share those stories on your Instagram and tag us. We're so happy to see your different stories and experiences for colleges.
Last thing I want to ask you to, Jessica, if people want to do like some type of a one-on-one session with you and they just want more, are you open to that about scholarships?
Yeah, so I do personal consultations for a fee. For 45 minutes, there's a Zoom session. So if you'd like, you can, of course, DM me, my assistant, get back to you, or you can email info@collegegirl.com and set that up. We do 45-minute Zoom consultation sessions with families. And it's great because I'm able to learn more about your family financial situation, your interests, different things like that, and make personal recommendations on how to make sure that you're finding all this money, and of course choosing the best college for you. So it's like I'm working right beside you, versus right now we're just kind of doing something very generic and broad, whereas that consultation is more of a personal experience.
Yes. So y'all definitely make sure y'all hit up her information. It's pinned to the bottom. College Girl JB is her main one, and the College Girl Foundation is her foundation page. So definitely we will say this live. So if y'all have any other questions, feel free to hit us up. Aaron, you got anything else you want to add?
Man, y'all apply to scholarships, please, please, please,
Yes.
please. Listen to these lovely ladies, because oh my gosh, being a senior in high school, going to college with no scholarships or no type of scholarship at all. Oh my goodness, it can definitely be stressful. It can definitely be stressful. So please take their advice.
Life is stressful, and it's going to continue to be stressful, right? But at least you'll be able to be a little stress-free, knowing that you saved, some money for your education, because you want to buy a car to be able to get a house, graduate, right? So
student loans is real.
Yeah, and you can't wipe in bankruptcy, so that you continue to play smart.
That was perfect.
Yes.
I hope they got some out of that.
So once again, everyone, thank you all for tuning in. This was our scholarship financial aid talk. So definitely we'll say this live, but feel free to follow everyone here at HBCU Hub. This is a part of I think it's a 4 or 5 week, the month of August. We'll be doing weekly Sunday lives with HBCU Hub. And actually we talked about networking, and Jessica she's the reason why we connected with HBCU Hub. So see, we, got that connection going through social media. So, and here we are today. So everyone saying thank you. Yeah, definitely thank you all for tuning in. Oh, Serena, last question. I don't know, this was just kind of something a little bit, I think I saw it here. She asked about joining a sorority or something like that. Maybe we can do a separate live about that. I think she asked about joining as a freshman or something like that.
Wait, what?
It depends on the institution, so you have to figure out.
Because I know at Alabama and them, they said 31 university hours.
No, it depends on the college and the requirements. So that's something that you would have to follow up with at your institution.
I had to make sure I asked them that.
I think honestly, I'm not gonna say all, but I know at Tuskegee it was the same thing. It's like you had to have so many credit hours, at least be a sophomore. So I think that's kind of. But like I say, check with your institution. And
I had to go up to the campus and ask them what they wanted, because I really want to be one so bad. Yeah. So I just said
straight to the source.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm already a Kappa. Please don't look at me.
Know that. We definitely know that, because you wouldn't have been saying that.
Because let me tell you something.
We know that.
That need to be a whole nother live about discretion. Yeah, that could be a whole separate conversation. But we have a Greek life combo. But definitely thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you all. I'll look at him with his shirt on. I don't have my Tuskegee shirt on today. But
Grand fam, you already know.
I had a Howard shirt on at first, and then I was like, I think the shirt.
Grand fam all day.
Well, yeah, no, this has been fun. This has been fun, definitely. So like I said, we'll be back here next Sunday night at 6 o'clock. So if you all have any questions, feel free to DM us, connect with College Girl. Hold your book up one more time for everyone just joining in so they can see.
College Girl, How to Pay
Yeah.
for College If You're Broke. College Girls First College Tour. Please support us Black authors, independently
Yes.
Seriously, hey, no,
published, all
College
that.
Girls
So
Foundation.
Yes.
Your books under College Girl Foundation, right?
the book's under at College Girl. My main page, the one that I'm on now, you can go to the
Mm-hmm.
link tree, and the links are in there. At College Girl Foundation is my nonprofit, based, of course, in Washington D.C. That you can follow all of our work.
Perfect.
On students
Okay.
that want to get down with College Girl, and our program, then they would be referred to College Girl Foundation. Oh, but
That's
also check out our little funny skit me and my team did on College Girl.
We'll
It's
post that.
it's a freshman week. Be like, yes, my parents left. Um, so it's little comedy skits when you get a chance. It was posted yesterday, so please make sure you like, you comment, you tag, share your freshman story at your freshman crew. It's pretty funny, pretty relatable. So make sure you guys check it.
That's dope.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Page and yes, hey, shout out to everyone just checking in. We're actually getting ready to wrap up, but thank you all so much for joining in. This is our
Yes,
talk
thank
about
you.
scholarships and financial aid. So yeah, definitely connect. Everyone's tag handles will be tagged in the caption after this, and we'll see y'all next week, next Sunday, 6 o'clock. We'll have a
Let's
new
get it.
discussion. It's our HBCU Bound series. So yeah, we'll see y'all soon. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Toot, toot, toot,
Bye.
toot, toot. Y'all be smooth.